if you work for the state, you should be concerned because your pension is caught up and invested by a company called the Public Investment Corporation. And the PIC is in big trouble. And in this article in Business Tech that came out today, it says a company managing over 3 trillion in South African pension funds in deep trouble. And there's some magic tricks that took place here. People have been suspended. A whistleblower handed over a multi-page report, more than 20-page report, a 26-page whistleblower complaint, and that was submitted to the PIC board and Parliament on June 2026. So, the magic trick is fascinating. The PIC gives 600 million rand to a company that invests in the Lanseria airport, okay, and developments, etc. That's supposed to take place there. And then, instead of them paying the PIC back the money, the PIC then pays them 400 million to get the shares back. How do you like that magical sum? So, let's dig into the article. The Public Investment Corporation, which manages more than 3.6 trillion in public sector assets, is facing the biggest governance crisis in its history. This has raised concerns about the relationship of the institution responsible for investing the retirement savings of millions of South African government employees. Now, the PIC has been in the news a lot. They've caused a lot of marankas. Many bad things have happened over time, but they've always said the money is still safe. And a lot of people fear that government wants their hands on these funds, and they might do it in interesting ways, and we will see soon. The PIC is Africa's largest state-owned asset manager. Around 88 to 89% of the assets it manages belongs to Government Employees Pension Fund, or the GEPF. This means it oversees more than 3 trillion in public servants' pension savings. That's 3,000 billion rand. It's a ridiculous amount of money. The remainder comes from public funds, including the Unemployment Insurance Fund, or UIF, and the Compensation Fund. The current crisis began after a 26-page whistleblower complaint was submitted to the PIC board and Parliament in June 2026, which I mentioned already. As a result of the complaint, Chief Executive Patrick Dlamini was suspended and Acting Chief Investment Officer August van Heerden was removed from the role. So, the Chief Investment Officer is gone. So, I mean, they can't basically function right now. Additionally, the Financial Sector Conduct Authority, or the FSCA, launched a formal investigation into the PIC's governance and operational stability. The decision to suspend Dlamini exposed deep divisions within the PIC board. The board reportedly voted 9-2 in favor of suspending him. The two directors, obviously, they're still getting a fat salary, so sitting at home making big bucks. The two directors who opposed the move later resigned, followed by 4 more non-executive directors, bringing the total number of resignations to 6 within days. Critics have noted that these appointments form part of a broader pattern of executive instability, with 5 senior executives suspended or removed over the past 2 years. So this has been building up. Independent analyst Kaya Sitoli said the governance crisis extends well beyond the whistleblower complaint and is rooted in years-old transaction involving Lanseria International Airport. The whistleblower isn't really the start of the conversation. It is a transaction that would have given that whistleblower some basis for saying something had gone wrong, is said in an interview with Kaya Bus. And it says that investment activity will likely be slowed down significantly because of what has just taken place. Sitole explained that the dispute dates back to around 2013, when the PIC funded an entity called Acapulco to buy a stake in Lanseria Airport. Under the agreement, the PIC could take ownership of the shares if the loan was not paid back. So they loaned 600 million. If the 600 million is not paid back, they can take over the shares. But in this case, what happened is, all of a sudden, the shares went from 600 million to a value of $1 billion, which means the PIC actually paid them when they couldn't pay back another 400 million rand. Yeah, you do that kind of math and tell me who is wrong here. The question would have been, how much do you owe us versus what is the value of the shares that you are being forced to surrender, he said. According to Sithole, there is no dispute that Acapulco owed the PIC roughly 600 million. Okay? The disagreement centers on the valuation of the airport shares when ownership transferred to the PIC. This sounds like full-on corruption. Taking taxpayers that work for the government, taking their pension money, handing 600 million of that to a company who can't pay it back, who doesn't pay it back, so they default their shares, which have then grown by 40% more. And now all of a sudden 400 million needs to be paid to this company after they couldn't repay. So did the PIC get that share value? That is the question. Okay. If the shares were worth 600 million, this would have been the end of the conversation, he said. If the shares had been worth less than 600 million, it would mean that the PIC is still owed something. So that company would have to pay them something back. If the shares were worth more than 600 million, it would mean that the PIC could take over the shares and then pay the excess, which in this case, I say the excess is worth 400 million. He said this ultimately resulted in about 400 million being paid to Acapulco, promoting Dlamini to question the outcome. Absolutely. I would question it too. If someone can't repay something, how on earth could the shares have escalated to that amount of money, which is basically 1 billion rand? This didn't make sense, as Acapulco borrowed 600 million and never paid it, and to exit the PIC had to pay. It makes no sense. You can tell me in the comments if you think there's some magic trick that I missed or that any of these people missed. Dlamini subsequently commissioned the PricewaterhouseCoopers review of the transaction, but some board members argued the lack of he lacked the authority to do so, leading to his suspension. Sithole said the chief investment officer's departure has made matters worse, as the CIO normally oversees investment valuations and settlements. So now they don't have someone that can actually do this. For the PIC to then let him go at the same point in time while this remains unresolved adds a layer of complexity where you've now paralyzed the structures within the PIC, he said. He also argued that the Deputy Finance Minister, David Masondo, as board chair. How the heck do you do that? How do you have the Deputy Finance Minister also as the board chair within the PIC? I smell a big rat. He should explain how the crisis unfolded. So these people know what's going on. There's some big money that went into people's pockets here. That's just what I'm saying. When a board finds itself in a crisis of this nature, the very first person who should be able to answer the question of what's going on is the chairperson of the board, Sithole said. Despite the turmoil, Sithole said pensioners should not fear an immediate loss of their retirement savings. No, because 3.6 trillion is a lot of money and you can just throw it around as you see fit. It does not get wiped out overnight, he said. However, he warned that investment activity is likely to slow significantly. Pending mandates, pending transaction and pending decisions are going to be paralyzed by the simple fact that there is no one left in the room to be making critical decisions, he said. Sithole warned that continued governance failures could make it increasingly difficult for the PIC to attract experienced investment professionals. People, this is an absolute joke. How on earth someone can't pay you back 600 million, so magically their shares just become much bigger and you have to pay them back 400 million. So they literally got $1 billion rand out of the PIC. Government employees' pension money that comes out of your salaries. Tell me in the comment if you're a government employee and if you would have been affected by this. That money is gone. It's gone. It was paid to this company because their shares magically increased when they couldn't even pay back the 600 million. Tell me in the comments how you feel. The sooner we change this governance system, the better, to a direct democracy system where we elect our leaders directly so we can hold them accountable. In the party system now, you can't hold anyone accountable. People should be shouting from the rooftops for heads. for people to be put in prison, and no one's going to prison in this country. It's a free for all, and it's a free fall for the government and for the people of the country, for the economy, for everything, for infrastructure at the moment. And we need to create the difference. We can absolutely do that. We can elect parties that will change the system. It is a choice. And if you choose to suffer, you will suffer. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe. Do consider becoming a member on this channel. There's a lot of you that support this channel and the work we do on the ground. I want to thank you for that. And remember, 7 o'clock tonight, we'll be doing another live stream where we will be discussing how people are being bamboozled with regards to our electricity supply situation. And that will come from me, an energy expert of 30 years. Thanks so much. Till the next video.